CBS Sports has officially predicted that the Miami Hurricanes will win the ACC Coastal this season. Are they crazy, or do we feel the same way? What's going on, Canes fans, and welcome to Coach Coop's Outdoor Studio. Coach Mario Cristobal and I decided that it's just too nice of a day today to spend the entire afternoon cooped up in the studio. So we're out here getting some fresh air, and I really wanted to discuss this topic. So yes, it is true. CBS Sports has predicted that the Canes will win the Coastal this season, but pay attention to the wording. They predicted that the Canes will win the Coastal, not necessarily the ACC. Now, they didn't say we wouldn't win the ACC, but they haven't really gone that far with their predictions yet. So this is a topic that I really want to see some comments down below by Canes fans, letting me know if you agree with their take or disagree with it, and if you agree or disagree with my take after we finish discussing this topic. So at first, when I saw this headline by CBS Sports, I was thinking, man, they're really jumping the gun here because we have a lot of question marks. We don't know how much this staff can really turn this team around in just one season. But then I sat back again and I was thinking about how much the Coastal was garbage last season and how much it could be even more garbage this year. And last year we finished right behind Pitt at the number 2 spot. And, coming up this year, Pitt doesn't have Kenny Pickett. Jordan Addison has entered the transfer portal. So who do they really have that can carry their squad? So what I want to do is just kind of briefly talk about each team in the Coastal. We're not going to go way in depth, but just a statement or two about them. Talk about Miami a little bit, and then me give my official opinion on if I think that they're jumping the gun, if I think that Miami can actually win the Coastal this season. Now, again, just a quick disclaimer before we deep dive here. It's early, guys. It's May. So, this isn't going to be like my official prediction. I'm not going down and breaking down the schedule yet. That's coming soon for a way too early prediction, and then later on in the season we'll do an official one. But we already kind of just talked about Pitt. I mean, they have a lot of question marks with Kenny Pickett being gone, with their number 1 receiver hitting the transfer portal. And that's the team that represented the Coastal last year. And if you remember, we beat Pitt last year. That's typically how it goes for Miami. We end up not making it to the Coastal because we beat ourselves, but we ended up beating the team that represents the Coastal. So Pitt, I don't think really is going to be that big of a problem in 2022. If we want to talk about Virginia Tech, they have a huge question mark at the quarterback position. So I don't expect Virginia Tech to be that big of an issue this season. Virginia is the one team that I would maybe have circled because they do have quarterback Brennan Armstrong returning for a 5th season this year. But they do also have a new offensive coordinator. So, does Armstrong and this new OC mesh very well? What is this offense going to be that he's bringing in? But I do think we play Virginia at Virginia this season. Now, with that being said, one loss in the Coastal still can get you to the ACC championship game. Look at Pitt last year. Look at all the previous seasons. Most Coastal teams don't go undefeated in the ACC. It's just facts. It just is what it is. It's just a roller coaster ride. It's up and down. So even if we were to drop one game to Virginia, we could still represent the Coastal and go to the ACC championship. Moving on to North Carolina, no Sam Howell, and they were 3-5 in the ACC last year. They really underperformed, and I think that North Carolina could be in a similar spot this season. I think 3-5 maybe give them one more dub on that ACC schedule, and I think that's right about where North Carolina is. But I think that we'll be okay when it comes to North Carolina. Georgia Tech has an insanely tough schedule this season. I really don't even need to go over it. I mean, they play Clemson, they play Ole Miss, I believe. They've got a really tough schedule, and Clemson is game number 1. So talk about just, getting your morale blasted week 1 in college football. So Georgia Tech, man, I'm not worried about it. I honestly don't even think that Georgia Tech makes a bowl game this year. This is going to be even worse than it was last year for Georgia Tech. Moving on to Duke. Duke has absolutely nothing going for them in 2022. I'm pretty sure they ranked dead last in total defense last season, and they have no depth this year. So for Duke fans, you might just want to go ahead and skip the 2022 season because it's going to be tough sledding for you guys. So with that being said, who really stands in Miami's way in the Coastal? Again, keeping in mind, guys, that we're specifically just talking about the Coastal. I'm not talking about the ACC as a whole. Our biggest enemy, as I always say year after year, is ourselves. Because we do have to keep in mind that at this point in time, obviously, we're unproven right now. So, I made the argument with Virginia, with Armstrong and the new OC and offense and whatnot. We're in a similar boat. So even though we feel like this staff is a huge upgrade for us, there's still a lot of question marks. They've not coached a single down at Miami yet. So will the chemistry be there? What I'm kind of worried about a little bit for Miami going into this season is we open with 2 what should be fairly easy games. So that gives us an opportunity to kind of boost our confidence, to work out any kinks, with the offense and defense. But then we head to College Station to take on Texas A&M. Now, I know what you're thinking, Coop. Well, Texas A&M, good thing, because even if we lose, it's not an ACC game. But I'm a little worried here that we build up some confidence in these first 2 games. And then we travel to College Station, and if we don't make that game a game, you know what I'm saying? If we can't keep it close, within let's say 2 touchdowns, it could really be a big blow to our morale for the rest of the season. Now, that's happened a lot in the past for Miami. If you remember, we would drop a game, and then typically we would drop 2 to 3 more games after that. We would usually go on a little slippery slope, and we would go on a losing streak. Now, hopefully, Mario and this new coaching staff can change that mindset, and we can bounce back and just learn from it if we did lose. Now, imagine we win, bro. Imagine we travel to College Station and we beat Texas A&M. I'm not predicting that at this point in time, but, bro, that would be wild. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I agree with CBS Sports, and I do firmly believe that Miami wins the Coastal this season. I do think that we play in the ACC championship game, and our biggest enemy, like most seasons, is ourselves. And if we can get past that, then yeah, I do think absolutely that we can represent the Coastal in the ACC championship this year. And just keep in mind, again, that this season is not going to be smooth sailing, guys. There's going to be some adversity. There's going to be some hurdles. There's going to be things that go wrong. And it's not me trying to be a negative Nancy. Everybody's always like, Coop, you used to always keep it positive, and now you predict losses all the time, and you talk about a lot of bad things. We got to keep it real, bro. It's not all just sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. Do I wish it was always dubs? Yes, of course. Do I wish that we would get positive yardage on every single play? Sure. But in reality, can that actually happen? Will it actually happen? Absolutely not. It's not going to. There's no way that every play goes just perfectly for us and it's always positive yardage. Somebody's going to make a mistake. It's a team sport. It's a team effort, a group effort. These coaches are going to make some mistakes. They're going to make some bad calls. These players are going to make some bad reads. They're going to miss some tackles. TBD's going to miss some throws. It's just facts. We're all human, man. It is what it is. So what I'm trying to do is tell you to not to taper your expectations, because the expectations need to be high. Our expectation is a national championship, and we need to be competing in the Coastal and playing in the ACC championship game every single year, no questions asked. That's the end goal. That's the expectation that we are setting. But you also have to understand that some bad things are going to happen, and without adversity, we can't grow. So we're going to have to we're going to have some ups, but we're also going to have to experience some downs so this staff and this team can grow and get better and learn from it. But even with all of that being said, again, I don't think that anyone stands in our way in the Coastal. And this is not my official prediction, but I do think that Miami wins the Coastal this season. And even if we drop one game, maybe even possibly two, I think it's still enough to represent the Coastal in the ACC championship game. So let me know down in the comment section below, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, how you feel about it. Do you think it's too early to say that? Do you think there's no way it happens? Do you think it's definitely locked in and we're going to the ACC championship? Just share your thoughts in comments down below. I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope you guys are enjoying the outdoor videos. I'm a little bit closer to the road this time. I'm moving around, so it's going to be a little bit louder, but I really like coming out here, getting some fresh air, and not just staying cooped up in the studio all the time. So I really like the outdoor videos, and it'll probably continue to be a thing in the spring and summer as this super loud, what is this, a dune buggy, a motorcycle going by? I don't know. I live out in the backwoods in the middle of nowhere, guys, so there's four-wheelers, dirt bikes, dune buggies, all kinds of crazy vehicles driving by 24/7. I live, you guys want, I don't want to give away my Addy, you know what I mean? But I live on the Dragon. I'll say that. And if you know what the Dragon is, you know what the Dragon is. If you don't, just Google it. It's interesting. But I drive the Dragon every time I go to town because I literally live on it. So it's wild and crazy, man. But just imagine, I want to close on this. Imagine if Mario's first year is winning the Coastal and going to the ACC championship game. More than likely, even with all the people talking down about Clemson, it's probably going to be Clemson this season. Clemson ended on like a 6-game winning streak to close out 2021. So I'm pretty confident that Clemson will probably represent the Atlantic in the ACC championship game. But we played Clemson in the regular season, so I think it could very well be a rematch. Whether that be us trying to avenge a loss or whether it be we're trying to win back-to-back games against Clemson. I don't know yet. It's too early. But I think it could be a Clemson-Miami ACC championship game. And imagine if his very first season, this man right here, comes down to Miami and takes us to the ACC championship game year number 1, even if we don't win it. I think that's a huge accomplishment for Mario Cristobal and his staff and this team in the 2022 season, if that's actually what happens. But yes, I think we win the Coastal, 100%. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. Me and Mario, we're gonna go for a little walk along my property, and then we'll head in and edit this video. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Yo, Mario, let's go. Yeah, man, I'm thinking hamburgers tonight. Yeah, man, as long as you cook them. I'll season them and you cook them, all right?